Hey guys, we're back.
What is up?
We're back.
Back with another one.
All right, are you ready for our intro?
Yeah, you ready for this, Ed?
You ready?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't do as good.
Oh.
Let's try again.
Okay, retry. Ready?
I hate myself. I hate myself.
You know what? It's fine. That was our intro.
Yeah.
For now.
It's kind of crappy because we're kind of crappy, but it's all good.
That's a good slogan right there. It's kind of crappy.
But
'cause
we're
pretty
kind of
crap.
cappy.
Yeah.
Cappy?
Cappy,
Okay.
no
Cappy.
cap.
We should probably introduce our guest.
Yes. So today, we're here with Ed. He is a fantastic person. Ed Pollei is. Jose
Thank
and
you.
I both went to junior high with him. Jose probably knows him better than I do because Jose...
Just a little bit.
Maybe a little bit because Jose was in jazz band with him or whatever. it
Yeah,
was.
no, we did
We were in
symphonic band.
Symphonic, yeah.
That's epic.
Yeah. So I've
3 years
known
ago.
of him for a while.
He's known of the legendary Ed.
Yeah. Yeah, Ed's
Um,
actually a pretty big legend around here.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Some people might know him from the Fried Egg movie that premiered last year with with Trevor,
Mhm.
Daniel, and Ed and Jack. If you were there, it was epic. If you weren't there, it was still epic.
You're still epic. Yeah, I hate.
It's on YouTube.
It is on YouTube.
It's a beautiful film.
Yeah.
Look
really.
it up.
So let's just talk a little bit about that fried egg thing. I learned from Jack that the whole idea was spawned from Trevor while he was on the houseboat while we were at Lake Powell. Is that true?
You were there with him?
Yeah, I went with them to
okay.
that trip.
Yeah. The whole thing came from one small little thing, and then he got really into it, and then he wrote an entire script, and then he came to me, and it was really crazy, and it didn't make sense, and it had a lot of things we couldn't do, but we kind of cut it down and then made it something we could actually do, even though it was still pretty ambitious, and yeah, that's where it kind of started.
Yeah.
It's epic.
Yeah.
So I learned that from Jack because we were talking about the film on the boat, and he said that the whole process was just crazy. That you guys, like, how many scripts did you guys go through?
Probably like 5 or 6, maybe.
5 or 6.
Whoa.
That's
Yeah.
what he told me. So, yeah. So how was that whole experience for you? Like, just like as when Trevor just came to you with this insane script to like now where everybody has talked about it. It was a huge thing last year. You got to show it off in the little theater.
Yeah.
Got to see it on the big screen, even though the screen in the little theater sucks. I wish you guys could have done it in the auditorium. That would have been.
I know.
That would've been
would've
epic.
Yeah. So what do you want me to say?
Like how was that? Just the whole experience. Like when you look back at it.
Yeah. Actually, last night I was just looking at some of the behind the scenes photos and kind of reminiscing. Because so last year I was a junior and Trevor was a senior, and
Rip Trevor, man.
yeah, he's gone. He's gone.
May he forever rest in peace.
Go USU. So now it's interesting because I'm a senior, and so I'm kind of in his place now. So I can kind of see things like the way he did. Like this is my last year, and it's like I got to do something big, before we become adults, and then things get expensive, and we have to start getting insurance and paying for things and taxes and all that stuff. So yeah, in kind of the pressure of wanting to make something while it's still really cheap and easy. We really wanted to push ourselves really hard. And the main thing with Fried Egg, the main goal we wanted to accomplish was make it entirely our own film. And by that I mean we wanted all the footage to be shot by us, and all the sound effects to be like royalty free and stuff, so we could just distribute it potentially.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but then the biggest thing was having an original soundtrack, so that we could still have a soundtrack, and it would be like, it wouldn't be all cheesy and royalty free,
Yeah.
And so that was kind of our goal for the entire film, was that it would be ours, and that's worked out. There's no copyright strikes on YouTube.
What a amazing time, because the way
Yeah.
that YouTube is set up right now, I'm really proud.
Yeah,
I'm really
that's a
happy.
big
for
I
that.
bet-
That's a big deal.
I bet they're trying to get a copy strike, but they're like, there's nothing that we can do. Like,
Yeah. Nope, not even one sound effect is stolen.
Did you guys make the whole soundtrack just like with your guys' own instruments and stuff, or?
No. So we had a few people working on it. Daniel did a bunch of it. Kyler Jones,
Hey, I know Kyler.
yeah, he went to Lake Ridge. And then Simon Brown, he's a guitarist, and he has his own little music thing that he does. He's really good, actually. He plays guitar, and I think he did the most of the soundtrack. So like the main theme, all the kind of iconic stuff, if you would say that about the movie. If there's anything iconic about the music, he probably made it. And so his contributions were really, really important to the whole thing. And we were really lucky that me and him kind of met each other in jazz band last year when he was a sophomore.
That's great. Did you distribute the soundtrack? Because I remember seeing it on someone's story.
Yeah. The soundtrack, I think, just recently got put on Apple Music. So, yeah, so it's up now.
We'll drop that link in the YouTube, by the way, so you guys can go check that out and buy it.
Put it in the script notes.
Yeah, you guys can listen to the soundtrack. Be like, oh,
it's actually a really good soundtrack.
Yeah,
I've heard it. It is surprisingly good.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's epic.
So talk to us a little bit more about the filming aspect of what's been going on, because I know that you are a very avid film watcher, maker, all this, anything about film, cameras, video. I know that I can always come to you.
Yeah.
You know so much about it already.
Yeah, thanks.
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 I know. Just all cocky about it. Yeah, thanks.
So I took on the role of the director of photography, mostly because this was Trevor's baby, and you know it's his vision, and it took me a while to completely understand what it was we wanted to make. But he knew the entire time. So I did all the video. It's kind of crazy, especially filming at school. So it kind of went like this. I would have to pack my whole camera kit and gimbal and batteries, tripod, all this stuff. And I kind of had a big like Pelican case with all of it before school, and then take it all to school. And then during Pride, I would run out to my car and grab the suitcase and then run back inside, and then we'd have about an hour to shoot. And we did this probably over 10 times, where we would meet during Pride and just try to get like one scene. And it was pretty crazy because people, you know, sometimes wouldn't show up, you know, kids have Fs or whatever.
Yeah.
So sometimes it was really disappointing when we were all set up, but you know, like one person wasn't there, and then we would have to reshoot something with that person in it, you know, the next week or something.
Yeah.
So it was pretty difficult. The school stuff, it was really tedious, and it took a long time. The stuff outside of school got a little bit more interesting. One of the days where a random Monday where there was no school. I think it was Martin Luther King Day, or I don't know, something like that. A random Monday holiday. One of those Mondays, we got everybody together, like all like 15 of us, the whole crew and stuff, and we went out to the beach, Vineyard Beach. Yes, Utah has a beach.
It's
crazy.
really, really bad.
It's nasty.
It's disgusting.
I've been there only once. I did not want to go back.
I think I got mono from that lake.
Oh god. I've been there like probably like 6 times just for fried egg. And so we have our whole crew there, and we're going to film this scene, this really advanced scene. So we had to go to a rental house and rent a generator so that we could have
Dang.
Wow.
Yeah, that was our budget was renting stuff, generators. We had to do that 3 different times.
Dang.
So we could have lights out on the beach, you know.
Yeah.
And we also had a fog machine and a leaf blower.
Oh.
Yeah. So in the scene that I'm in, where I'm Jesus, but I'm actually
Yeah.
just Ed.
Yeah. Ed is not Jesus.
That
He's just Ed.
was the single hardest scene to shoot, I think, because it was really, really technical. Daniel Nelson was standing to the side with a giant reflector thing on the gold side, and he was bouncing warm light into my face and kind of moving it around. And then we had this fog machine, and it would only turn on at like weird intervals, and it would overheat. So as soon as the fog started shooting out, we had to like run around and just do the scene, like regardless. And then there had to be somebody with the leaf blower, and then there had to be somebody at the camera, and it was really crazy. But that was probably the most exciting day of filming, where it was like that was the most real life our filming ever got, where we went for an entire day and we had a lunch break, Costco pizza and all that stuff. So that was kind of the big day. And then from there on, just a lot of really sporadic days where, we could only do stuff with Daniel, or we could only do stuff with Daniel's mom or certain people and certain things. So that's kind of how it was. It was just really, it took a really long time because there's not much time to film when you're going to school.
Yeah.
What would you say is like your favorite scene?
My favorite scene.
Like just like what you like contributed into, and just like all time, like I love that.
All right. That's pretty easy. My favorite scene is this scene after the climax where Daniel kills a bunch of his friends, and Daniel is driving, and he's in the car, and he takes his hands off the wheel and presumably kills himself. But my favorite shot is when you can see the rearview mirror, and Daniel's eyes are in the rearview mirror, and you can also see the road, and everything is really artistic looking, and it was really coincidental. I just I put the gimbal with the camera on it really, really close to the rearview mirror, close enough that the line between where you could see the mirror and where you could see the road was totally blurred. So it looked like kind of a double exposure, and that was just a lucky thing, but it was really cool. And with all the color grading and stuff, it turned out really good. So if you look it up, Fried Egg,
which you should.
Everyone,
100%.
after watching this,
Go
search
straight
up,
there.
Yeah,
There will
Fried
be a
Egg.
link in the description.
Right.
I swear.
And if there isn't, go to YouTube, search Fried Egg short film. It'll be like the first thing. And what I was saying is the thumbnail of the thing is that shot. So it's Daniel and his eyes and the road. So you'll know it. You'll know when you see it.
You'll see it.
If you know
Mhm.
Daniel, you'll know it.
Oh yeah.
So, moving on just a little bit from Fried Egg,
Sure.
you do some other things, some very jazzy things.
Jazzy.
You can
Yeah.
say.
Jazzy is
Yeah.
a word for it.
Jazzy is the perfect word for it. So you are in jazz band,
Right.
right? So earlier you were talking about the soundtrack, about how you met someone in jazz band.
Mhm.
Do you want to talk to us a little bit about your experience with band, instruments, music?
All right. Ever since 7th grade, I've been doing music, and so I started out on the clarinet, and that was only because clarinet was a prerequisite to being able to play the saxophone at Lake Ridge. And I've stuck with saxophone ever since, and I was in marching band for 2 years, and two of the bands here at Orem. And my favorite thing has been jazz band for sure. I love jazz band. I love jazz. It's so much fun, and my friends are so talented, and I'm so lucky to be able to play with them. It just makes the whole thing even more fun when we actually sound good.
Yes.
You have a
Mhm.
favorite song you want to just shout out real quick?
Favorite song? I mean, like jazz?
Yeah.
Okay. I'd say right now I really like a version of Giant Steps by the Buddy Rich Band. It's good.
Okay.
I don't know who they are, but it's dope.
It's good. Yeah.
So you've been doing band music in general for about like 6 years now, right?
I don't know what's
Seven, 8.
7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah, so
That was
about
6 years.
6
yeah.
years.
Sure.
Do you ever regret being in the band?
I regretted being in marching band a few times.
There's a marching band?
What?
There's a marching band?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a marching band.
Yeah,
Wow.
they played games and stuff
Yeah.
occasionally.
That's epic.
And then it's a fun time.
Yep.
Yeah, I can see why, because marching band has to train, or I guess like practice during the summer and like
There's
95-degree weather.
you lose a summer, and in marching band there sometimes the music isn't really the emphasis, and so sometimes it's a little hard, but the people who like marching band are really into it, and I love those people. They're great. I don't hate marching band, but it's just not for me right now, because I needed to have a summer to work for myself, but yeah, that was really, really hard going through, really intense.
So as you were saying that you wanted a summer for yourself to work and to just
Yeah.
chill out, do you have any upcoming projects, like big, or maybe not big, but like projects that you are very excited about?
Yeah, you could say that there's maybe like 2, well, maybe 3. So as already mentioned, I did Fried Egg with Trevor, and Trevor, came up with it and everything. And over the last year or so, me and Trevor have been mostly Trevor has been working on a new thing that'll be kind of like Fried Egg, like a bigger project. All I can say about it is all I can say for now is that it regards bugs,
Oh.
Ooh.
and
That's a
In a good or bad way?
in a
both ways.
in a mixed sort of way.
In a way.
In a way, yes. In a very large way.
Okay.
Yes.
So is this more gonna be more just on a bigger scale than Fried Egg?
Yep. This is going to be a step up from Fried Egg. So our next sort of goal is to hopefully find an actor who isn't one of us, who we could actually, direct. Yeah, work with. And so yeah, we're still moving forward, trying to bump the production up a step higher than Fried Egg, which is pretty hard.
Yeah, you set a pretty high standard for yourself.
Yeah.
Fried Egg was amazing, considering like all the resources you guys had and just like
What you had to work with.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, any actors out there? Ed's email will be in the description.
Man, hit me up. I need actors so bad. I
He
cannot
needs them
explain.
desperately.
He needs them more than he needs breathing. Like
It's really bad.
Desperate young filmmaker needs actors ASAP.
Yeah. So let's move on from the biggest things about you. Tell us something that we wouldn't usually know about you.
like if we looked at you, we wouldn't like know this about you.
I don't know. What do you know about me?
Well,
I know a lot.
I know.
What do you mean? What do you mean you know?
Yeah, what do you know about him?
I don't know what you're referring to.
What's something that you do besides film, photography, music, and all that stuff?
Oh,
all
that's
that
jazz.
Yeah.
Get out
All
of my
that
head.
jazz.
He's like, I don't do anything.
He's like that. You just described my whole life in one sentence.
I mean, I don't really do anything. I like to watch movies with my friends and talk about movies with my friends.
We should talk about that. Okay.
Yeah.
Ed is crazy about films. Ed, can you give us just like a ballpark about how many films you might have seen? Not blockbuster movies, but like
Just like
indie.
Well,
anything.
Okay,
Yeah.
how about this? I can give you an exact number of
Ooh.
all the movies that I've seen.
Okay.
I keep track.
he keeps track, guys.
Okay.
Yeah, down
Exciting.
to the single digits. I think including last night's movie, I think I'm at 865 or something.
865 movies.
That's nothing. I still have a ways to go.
Oh my gosh.
Whoa.
That's like, when did you start counting?
I started counting basically when the year started.
Like, wait, this year or
I haven't watched 800 movies this year. I started logging all of them. So this year, I can tell you how many I've watched this year. I think I've seen is about 170 this year, I think.
Whoa.
And my goal is a movie a day, so I want to hit 365. And so with that, I have to watch a movie every day, obviously, for the rest of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have to watch an additional 50 movies. So
Okay.
I have to watch 2 movies a day for 50 days and 1 movie a day for however many days left.
You mathematicians can figure that out.
You're insane, Ed.
That's I could never, honestly.
Which do you stick to like a certain genre of films?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, and when we're talking about films, I don't. Are you including blockbusters?
well, in the general count, yes, but I mean, I've maybe watched like just a few, you know.
Just a few.
I saw Avengers and Spider-Man,
Yeah.
but I don't actively.
Yeah. So we're just mainly
watch
talking
the
about
big
like
stuff.
indie kind of like.
Artistic
Artistic
films.
Yeah, but not just that. I watch a whole lot of classical movies. And classic doesn't mean boring or old necessarily.
Mm.
Well, they can be old, but my favorite movie happens to be 2001: A Space Odyssey, which came out in 1967, and
Oh my gosh! Speaking of that, actually,
Yes.
pause for 1 second.
what?
I was shopping in the mall and I saw that shirt. I was with Diego
Yeah.
and he was like, "Oh my gosh, look! If we sent this to," it was like a Space Odyssey shirt,
Mm-hmm.
and we're like, Diego was like, "Here, I'm gonna send this photo to Ed," and I don't know if he ever did, but it was this really cool
I
shirt.
think he did. I
It-
think he did. Yeah.
I was like, I've never heard of that,
Mhm.
and then I looked it up. It looked pretty cool. I never got to
Oh,
watch it. I never got around to watching
it's
it.
my favorite movie. I love it.
Epic.
Um,
Epic.
But that's just an example of the movies I watch. Just movies, good movies. I watch good movies. There
Good
you
movies. Have you ever dabbled into disturbing movies?
go. Oh yeah.
He's like, oh, those are the good movies I'm talking about.
So-
Almost, yeah.
So I was watching YouTube last night, and I was watching this guy named Mr. GG, and he
Okay.
was reviewing some disturbing movies.
Mm-hmm. Any names?
Yeah, a Serbian film.
Oh, that's
I've heard of that one because
that's pretty
yeah.
disturbing. I haven't seen. That's a little bit over.
Yeah,
the,
that's
the line.
I don't recommend that movie to anyone.
You
I watched it right after I watched that YouTube video. It's pretty whack.
Yeah,
It's
that's. I don't like movies that are disgusting to be disgusting, but you know, if
but have
there's
a meaning behind it.
yeah, if it's disgusting to to show reality,
Mhm.
like there's a lot of drug movies that are really intense and really disturbing that show a very real side of what it's like, to be struggling with drug problems. Or like war movies, there's some really gross war movies, but they're justified in that's what really happened, and the director is trying to show the audience or people that side of reality and what it looked like and how intense it was.
Yeah. So another movie was called, I think it was called Happiness. It
Hmm.
was kind of more old school. I
I
don't
haven't heard
know.
of that.
Yeah, it was the way that he described. I didn't get to watch it because he didn't really go into much detail about it because he didn't want to spoil any of the movie. So
Hmm.
he just said that you should go watch it. I never actually got around to watching it because I was too busy watching a Serbian film.
Yeah.
But
his eyes light up as he said that. He was like scarred.
dude, that movie is intense. It's a really weird movie. I think the disturbing movie genre is just a very interesting and very delicate
I agree.
process to go through.
Yeah, it's
not only as
it's
a
touchy.
not only as a viewer but as a director. I mean I can't imagine the amount of thought and stuff that has to go into those kinds of
Yeah.
movies.
Right. Like, what is going in that guy's mind to come up with this kind of movie?
Like, I'm genuinely concerned.
Really, though, yeah, because that's where movies come from, is one guy's head, you know, especially the really gnarly kind of movies, you know.
Oh, yeah.
You don't go to Hollywood and say, hey, can you give me money for this?
Hollywood would be like, no, get out.
No,
Yeah.
leave me alone.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so we're gonna start wrapping this up since we have about I think we have 3 minutes or
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
around there.
Do you want to
4
like
minutes.
give the audience or the listeners like just top 5 movies you recommend?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's
All
like he
right.
gets this question a lot and he's like so ready.
He's like, oh, I've already got it written down.
I know.
bro."
I'm just prepared to answer at all times. Well, so I really recommend my number 1, which is 2001: A Space Odyssey. Really great movie. My number 2 is a good abstract one, but it's not like disgusting. It doesn't have rated R content in it, which would be Eraserhead. David Lynch, great movie. My third, another David Lynch, Mulholland Drive, a really good movie. If you think you like Inception,
If you think
you don't. Mulholland Drive is like a mature version of Inception,
A
which
better version.
I love
A
how he's
much
like,
better
if
version.
you think you like Inception, you don't. No, you're wrong.
You're wrong.
Incorrect.
and then what else is good? I'd watch any Kubrick. Any of the Kubricks are really good.
By the way, we'll leave this list down below.
Yeah.
So
If you want to watch something new that just came out, I'd say go watch The Dead Don't Die. That's a great. It's a comedy. It's light or whatever.
whatever.
Not too heavy. It's funny. Great movie. And
last but not least.
last but not least, I'm trying to think what's really good. Okay, here's a real gnarly one. So maybe don't watch this. I really like this movie, Requiem for a Dream, which is exactly what I was explaining about the drug thing. It's very real, and it's very disgusting. It makes me cry.
Oh.
Oh jeez.
Because it's disgusting, and it's just so sad, like, that people live through this kind of stuff. But that's a great movie. It's got really cool editing, and I think just the style of the movie, it's a great movie. Okay, here's another one. This is the last one. Please go watch this. You probably hate it, but give it another try. Go watch the 2008 Speed Racer movie. Great
Speed
movie.
Racer.
It is a masterpiece.
Never watched it. Since
Jose is just in disappointment. Ed's like, please watch it. you don't understand.
I
It's
haven't
good.
watched Speed Racer since I was like 8.
Speed Racer from 2008, the live action one, is a visual masterpiece.
Maybe I'll have a new perspective.
Quote me on that.
Yeah, okay.
It's
I'll
beautiful.
quote you on that.
We
So-
will quote
yeah.
you on that.
So that list will be down below. Guys, we're gonna wrap things up. My
Yes.
name's Jose Muro.
I'm Francisco Angulo.
I'm just Ed.
He's not Jesus. He is Ed. This was Off Campus. This is us signing out.
Yeah.
We'll just see you guys later. Peace out.
Later.
See ya.